An important victory over what we see as a major threat to Californians, a major threat to Latinos, to consumers, to Hollywood, to jobs, and that is the Comcast-Time Warner merger. I believe that the Comcast-Time Warner merger is perhaps the most dangerous merger we have seen in recent memory, particularly when you look at Californians, Hollywood, Latinos. Just for Latinos, it will combine over 90% of Latino cable users in this country. And so today, we stand here against this dangerous merger, and we have a powerful coalition of different type of officials, community organizations, Latino and civil rights activists of all backgrounds. And so we're very excited to be here with all of you guys today. El día de hoy estamos aquí oponiéndonos a una amenaza que se presenta en contra de la comunidad latina, del estado de California, consumidores, Hollywood, trabajos, y estamos aquí emocionados porque estamos cerca de la victoria. Creemos que podemos convencer a la Comisión de Utilidades Públicas, que el día de hoy se reunirá aquí al cruzar de esta calle, solicitándoles que se opongan a esta fusión entre Comcast y Time Warner. Entonces el día de hoy tenemos una serie de ponentes de una coalición poderosa de diferentes sectores del Estado. Para empezar en estas presentaciones tenemos primeramente a Antonio González del Willie Velázquez Institute.
The Willie Velázquez Institute has formally opposed the Comcast-Time Warner merger. We've communicated our opposition to the Federal Communications Commission, and we are pleased to see at the California Public Utilities Commission that at least one of the commissioners, Mr. Florio, has gone into opposition, calling for the merger to be defeated. There are many reasons for this. Comcast has a poor diversity record. The unification of Comcast and Time Warner will monopolize putting the number one and number two cable companies in the country together, monopolize service to hundreds of millions of Americans, creating the conditions for even higher prices. And from our point of view, the Comcast-Time Warner merger threatens the viability of Latino-owned and controlled media entities. Latino content producers will be excluded from the merged organization. We see this as a giant power grab by Telemundo, which will be owned by the merged corporation. For those reasons, we are opposed to this merger. And I'll be honest with you, we have talked until we're blue in the face with Comcast about our concerns, and they have turned a deaf ear to us. Nosotros del Instituto Willie Velázquez formalmente hemos opuesto esa unificación de Time Warner y Comcast con una carta oficial a la Comisión Federal de Comunicaciones. Hoy en día estamos felices de que uno de los comisionados de la Public Utilities Commission, la Comisión de Utilidades Públicas de California, se ha ido a la oposición del señor Florio. Hay muchas razones por esa oposición nuestra, inclusive la falta de diversidad en sus programas de Comcast, el hecho de que un monopolio unificando el número uno y número dos del mercado ante cientos de millones de hogares de americanos crea las condiciones para la alza de los gastos, de los biles. Y para estar honesto con ustedes, hemos hablado vez tras vez con Comcast tratando de comunicar nuestras preocupaciones. Ellos no nos han dado caso, por eso estamos opuestos y formamos parte de esa coalición fuerte. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, Antonio. Our next speaker is the Honorable Rocky Delgadillo. As you all know, he's the former city attorney and is also a board member of Estrella TV. He's accompanied by Jose Lieberman, founder of Estrella TV.
Welcome and thank you for being here today. I'm standing next to Jose Lieberman, who for me is a hero. He's one of those true California dreamers who had a dream that he could communicate with a very large segment of our community here, not only in Los Angeles, but across the country. And he has built a company, Estrella TV, along with a radio company that is reaching the community. They thought he was crazy when he was the first one to put Spanish language on an FM station. But he's a pioneer and exactly the kind of California dreamer that we want to prosper here in our state. And today, the Public Utilities Commission gets to decide on a merger between Comcast and Time Warner Cable that if it occurs, dreamers like Jose will not have their day in the great land of dreamers. So we're here today to urge that the Public Utilities Commission says that this merger between Comcast and Time Warner is a difficult and challenging thing for Californians, troubling, and shouldn't happen. Estrella TV is one of the leading Spanish language networks in the country. It's owned by Latino Americans, by a family from right here in Southern California. Despite being a top-rated network, Comcast has forced Estrella off the air in 3 cities: Denver, Houston, and Salt Lake City. Now, in some of those cities, Estrella was beating Telemundo in the ratings. Guess who owns Telemundo? Comcast. And of course, the merged entity will own it as well. Thousands of Latino Comcast consumers called, imagine calling your cable company, and said, we want Estrella back on the air. Fell on deaf ears and didn't occur. So, what does this mean? If the merger occurs here in California, Comcast and Time Warner will have a virtual monopoly on cable and broadband here in the state of California. That means Comcast and Time Warner will be able to tell you what you see and what you don't see. And companies like Estrella, we believe, will disappear. And along with that company disappearing will be the 1,000 well-paying jobs that are currently in Burbank producing content here in the United States. They'll go away too. California can't afford to lose 1,000 jobs at this time. And that will happen if this merger occurs, we believe. So today, Estrella TV is taking a stand and calling on the Public Utilities Commission to block the Time Warner and Comcast merger. I urge the Commission to do the right thing that is in the best interest of Californians. Uphold open competition, provide access to choice, and promote diversity by saying no to this merger. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everybody. Again, my name is Gilbert Vasquez. I'm an accountant in private practice. I serve in a voluntary capacity as the chairman of the Los Angeles Latino Chamber of Commerce. This commerce is focused on serving small and medium-sized Latino businesses in our Southern California community. I'm here today to add the voice of the chamber as an opponent of the Comcast Time Warner Cable merger. We of the Latino Chamber are supporters of competition in the marketplace. We don't see how this merger of 2 cable companies and internet providers of approximately 80% of the internet services in the marketplace and provide cable television service in the majority of the California community in any way promotes competition. If anything, we believe that these businesses and the residents of Southern California will suffer as a result of the merger. Why? First, we've already heard Comcast say they will cut programming expenses and video program production in vital industries such as Los Angeles, which includes a large Latino population. Secondly, Comcast will be the gatekeeper of television and internet and will have every reason to exclude independent programming and other services, especially in Latino-oriented programming space. Third, Comcast established a poor record in the minority business enterprise space, a place that we're very concerned with. Currently, they only provide 1.5% of Latino business in their company here in California, as evidenced by the PUC. We believe that Comcast has failed to provide a satisfactory program offering internet services at a respectable speed to assist economically disadvantaged citizens who can't avail themselves of the internet and must use it for the education of their children, especially minority group children that require this kind of service in a high-tech world. With all of these strikes against it, there's absolutely no reason for Comcast to become an even bigger content and internet provider. Commissioner Florio was correct when he acted the other day offering a decision denying the merger. We agree with the commissioner. I had to say and urge our fellow commissioners join in and saying no to this merger, which is uncompetitive, unproductive, and ill-spirited and ill-intended, and not in the benefit of the California public. Thank you.
My name is Sean Ryan. I'm a member of the Board of Directors of the Writers Guild of America West. I've also been a television writer for 25 years, including creating The Shield. The overwhelming response from consumers, programmers, content creators, edge providers, and organizations representing diverse communities has been that this merger is a bad deal for the nation and a bad deal for California. The Writers Guild of America West and its 8,000 members who create television series, feature films, and online programming seen on Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, Yahoo, and many other online services have joined in this chorus because this deal would hurt content creators and consumers alike. The merger would give Comcast control of 30% of television distribution and half of high-speed broadband markets nationally. But in California, the stakes are even higher. The merger would increase Comcast broadband reach from 34% to 84% of households. And right here in LA County, 71% of residents would have no choice other than Comcast for high-speed broadband. What can we expect from this consolidation? Higher prices, fewer choices, and less content, because mergers that increase the power of content gatekeepers do not serve the interests of consumers or creators. We know this will happen if the merger is approved because Comcast has already told us that it will. It has said, for instance, that it will save money by paying less for programming. The problem is that these fees, paid by cable companies to television networks, have helped finance the creative renaissance currently underway in television. Comcast claims that this is an efficiency of the merger, but there's no evidence to suggest that the savings generated will be passed on to consumers, and Comcast has made no commitment to do so. The merger would also give Comcast tremendous power over internet distribution, where new and diverse content choices are reintroducing competition into our media landscape for the first time in decades. Writers have new outlets to sell to, and consumers have new choices. It is no accident that this merger is happening in response. History tells us that the rise of every new medium that promises to revolutionize communications has been followed by corporate strategies to gain control of that technology. If this merger is approved, Comcast will have the power to extinguish the promise of this new platform. As the creator of The Shield and its lead character Vic Mackey, I understand something about abuse of power and what happens when proper oversight goes lacking. It may make for great entertainment, but it makes for bad public policy. The PUC should vote for Commissioner Florio's proposal to reject this merger, and that's precisely what we will tell them later today. Thank you.
My name is Michael McCauley. I'm the media director for the Consumers Union's West Coast office here in California. And Consumers Union is the policy and advocacy division of Consumer Reports magazine. And every year, Consumer Reports asks its readers to rate their experiences with pay TV and internet providers. And guess which two companies end up near the bottom of the barrel year after year? Comcast and Time Warner Cable. Comcast in particular is notorious for unexpected price hikes, for billing mistakes, and for poor customer service. And now these two companies want to merge into a single giant corporation that would gain a monopoly here in California and dominate the marketplace nationwide. We can't let that happen. If Comcast gets its way, Californians and consumers across the country can expect higher prices, fewer choices, and even worse customer service. In particular, we're very concerned that this merger would give Comcast unprecedented control over the state and nation's broadband market. Comcast will be the only choice for high-speed broadband for more than 70% of LA County residents living in the post-merger territory that Comcast will control. Whenever there's a lack of competition, we know that prices go up and choices in choices in service inevitably suffer. We can expect a bad situation to get even worse. So we are very pleased that Commissioner Florio has taken a stand against this merger, and we call on all the other members of the California Public Utilities Commission to do the same. We can't afford to let one corporation have so much control over our choices and how much we pay to connect and communicate. This merger should be rejected. Thank you.
And we have a couple more before we wrap up. We have next the Vice President of Government Affairs at Entravision, Marcelo Gaete.
I joined my fellow speakers this morning who have spoken eloquently on why this proposed merger between Comcast and Time Warner Cable should be denied. We join with Commissioner Florio, who did so well in the alternative proposed decision. The parties that have spoken here today truly represent California: business, labor, public interest, community, and civil rights organizations. We all agree that this merger is anti-consumer, anti-competitive, and anti-California. Simply put, the only beneficiaries of this merger will be Comcast. The losers will be California businesses and consumers, whether because of Comcast reducing its acquisition of programming from California producers, Comcast continuing its poor records on minority business enterprise, purchase of goods and services, Comcast's poor record of consumer services, Comcast's failure to provide internet services for economically disadvantaged, Comcast's effort to limit traffic of California companies on the internet, or Comcast's failure to provide programming opportunities for California-based, independent, Latino-oriented programmers. As Gil Vasquez was correct when he highlighted the concerns addressed in Commissioner Florio's alternative proposed decision, that competition is important for both consumers and business enterprise. This merger would only reduce competition significantly in content delivery and the internet service in California, and give Comcast every reason and ability to shut out those who offer competing content or services and use its buying power to the effect that their financing performance. In the end, California is far better served by denying of this merger, as the so-called as Commissioner Florio called for. Thank you.
My name is, again, Angelica Salas with Chirla, and I'm here to speak about the consumers, the Latino immigrants that actually take full advantage of the fact that they can have programming in their language, that important information that affects their families, their future, can be accessible to them. We are absolutely opposed to this merger between Comcast and Time Warner because it takes away the choices that our community has. And our community needs to be well served, well represented in media matters. And so we join forces with all who are here and seek to continue to fight to make sure that the immigrant Latino community of this state and of this country have the choices they deserve. Yo aquí estoy, mi nombre es Angélica Salas, pero estoy aquí unida con todos los diferentes representantes y realmente para poner nuestra oposición a este acuerdo entre Comcast y Time Warner. ¿Por qué? Porque nos quita la habilidad a la comunidad latina, a la comunidad inmigrante, de tener programación que es accesible, información que ayuda a nuestras familias, que ayuda a nuestros hijos, y que de esta manera realmente nos quedaríamos con una sola o a lo mejor unos dos acceso a estos medios. Nosotros merecemos más, los millones y millones de inmigrantes que vivimos en California y en este país merecemos mucho más cuando viene a cuestiones de los medios. Gracias.
Good afternoon, my name is Ana Montes and I'm the organizing director for TURN, the Utility Reform Network. Like many of the folks out here, we've been working for a long time on these issues, working with ratepayers from all levels. Very quickly, what I want to say is we are very and vehemently opposed to this merger. Bigger is not better. Californians won't benefit from the creations of a media colossus with a near monopoly on broadband. especially one already known for poor customer services and high prices. Low-income customers need more options for phone, cable, internet service, not fewer choices, which is what this merger will result in. Where is the public benefit in this merger? There is no public benefit. Thank you.
My name is Todd O'Boyle, and I represent Common Cause, a nationwide grassroots organization that promotes honest, inclusive, and transparent governance. On behalf of our 400,000 members, including some 56,000 Californians, we oppose this merger because it would further monopolize our communications ecosystem, vesting intolerable levels of gatekeeper control in the hands of a mega Comcast. Together, these two firms have systematically shut down competition and consumer choice through their unseemly record of influence peddling in Sacramento and across the country. The combination would squelch localism and diversity and make it even harder for independent voices to break through. Thousands of California Common Cause activists and their allies have already spoken out with a simple message. No set of conditions can ameliorate the harms this merger would bring. So the CPUC must heed their call and uphold the public interest without delay by adopting Commissioner Florio's alternate proposed decision. Thank you.
I want to thank everybody for coming. The speakers will be available for comment right after for interviews. I think the message here is this merger is undoubtedly dangerous for our country, and we thank you for covering it. Los diferentes ponentes estarán disponibles para entrevistas después de esta conferencia. Les quiero dar un agradecimiento a todos por estar aquí. Muchas gracias.